what we got.
Coach, can I get you to just a little bit?
Sure, absolutely.
I know.
I honestly think that we have 5 guys right now that can play on Saturday. So which gives us the ability to package some things, get people out in specific situations, which will force us as coaches to get them. Jake Cheney is the leader. Absolutely love what he's doing, the impact he has. But we need to force feed packages because he can't be on the field 70 snaps for 12, 13, 14, 15 games. We have a number of dudes that are playing Saturdays.
I know at the start of camp you were excited about the idea of having more contact this year. I guess I'm wondering at this point where maybe have you seen the benefits of that? How do you think it's helping?
It opens our guys' eyes up very quickly in terms of things that they have to continue to hunt and work at. Right? If the first time you have an opportunity to live tackle is game day, and we've never been like that, but some people are. You don't realize, oh, I'm not quite where I need to be until game day. That's too late. So when we have the opportunity, we have some big tailbacks that are running hard right now. So it is an eye-opener to everybody on defense to what it takes when it's real and what we need to work on.
So the same with Dylan Jones, where it seems like defenders are tackling Dylan Jones more than other running backs.
I mean, Dylan Jones, yeah. I mean, that dude's a load. If our defensive backs can't go low on that man, it's like it's not fair. But I'll tell you what, you see no fear out of our guys either. And so we're playing closer to real football than I think most people must be.
Coach, even back in the spring and now, especially in the fall, you've seen pressure to the quarterback kind of increase. How does that maybe change the way that people call plays and set up these blitz packages to throw different looks?
So I'm excited about the fact that we can get some pressure with just 4-man, because then all of a sudden when you bring extra people, that's not where the offensive line, the quarterback, maybe the coordinator's intention is. But the other thing besides having some real athletes on edges and upgrading talent and knowledge of the defense across the board, I really think we have some great communicators and problem solvers on the field. You know, Jake Cheney and Hunter Wolder, I really believe are special in terms of being communicators and problem solvers, which allows you to open up the playbook.
Coach, you've been around the game for a little bit. Obviously, you know that it's kind of the same process, but still, being here second year now, as you guys get more familiar, how is the second fall camp going for you?
Second fall camp is going very well. Camp 1, you're trying to get to know your guys, and it's not until the live bullets start flying that you realize, okay, we didn't know everything we need to know. And I know Coach Fickle's been talking about that, but in addition to knowing your guys better, I'm really impressed with how many of our players really truly understand the defense now. That's exciting to see, and we are emphasizing we need a whole bunch of 1Bs, because 2s are the guys that are backups that don't get on the field on Saturdays. 1Bs are the guys who you absolutely set in a rotation for, and you see more of those now than you did this time last year.
Like, you got a lot of guys in different positions, different alignments with inside linebacker. How important is it that you're the guy that's coaching that group in terms of being able to just kind of draw stuff up with them in the meeting room and then bring it out to the practice field?
It's comparable to the offensive coordinator, the quarterback coach. Different staffs can handle it different ways, but I do feel like when you eliminate the middleman as much as possible, that's a really big thing. One of our philosophies is front multiplicity, right? And so if we truly understand leverage and how to disengage off the blocks, we can get to a bunch of front multiplicity, which can manipulate protections and blocking schemes, but you have to be pretty precise about where you're aligning and how you're showing and how you're bluffing. So it's nice to work firsthand with those guys. Yeah, I don't know if you look back and how many times would we have been in the playoffs if it was 12 teams. I don't know the answer to that. I'm worried about this year, obviously, but shoot, there's 3 times as many teams that are making the playoffs, right? I think that being in the Big Ten Conference, too, there's going to be a guaranteed number of teams in the Big Ten Conference that are in the playoffs. So the opportunities are certainly there. And the nice thing is, in the past, you lose one, you feel like all shots are done. So the importance of your season, the meaningfulness of your season is always there for us, but for the outside world, it really is longer too.
Like with someone like Jaheim, now that you've had a spring and a decent amount of preseason camp, and I know that you had experience in that season, just with this group of players and what you're trying to do with this defense, just what can he do for this defense that maybe this defense couldn't do last year?
He does have more familiarity with myself and Coach Fickle, to be quite honest, than even the guys that have been here for 2 years. So he's been through more game plan adjustments, more in-week preparations than anybody else on our team, other than a couple other guys that came from Cincinnati. So that's pretty neat. But I also think he's a kid that has really grown up and made himself a really mature guy. He's in the training room even if he's not, right? He's studying film even though when it's not mandated, and that rubs off on the other guys too. And he didn't do that when he was younger, so it's exciting to see that.
Your team has mottos every year of victory and hunter be hunted. What does that mean to you as a coach? What does that make sense resonating with you?
Yeah, that means you're on the attack all the time, right? There's never anything that you can be satisfied with. It is a constant hunt. It's a constant hunt. And as hard as we go in fall camp here, it really helps us as coaches and the players identify what we need to hunt. So there's never a relaxation when you're on the football field.
What do you think Tucker this is in terms of getting that 1B status, or what have you seen from here in training camp?
So probably after practice number 5 or 6, he took a huge jump. What people don't really think about is he did not go through spring ball. So this was really his first time. He did walkthroughs, he did run-throughs, but he wasn't playing full speed, full contact. So this is his first time doing that. I think he's really, you can see his confidence really growing fast at this point, which is really exciting. And he's a guy that without a doubt, feel like he can be out there on the football field. Now, Mike, his how many different packages he could be in will continue to grow, but right off the bat, you're gonna feel like, hey, there's packages that he could be in.
Similar question on Tyler Jansen. Where do you see him at right now?
Tyler Jansen was first of all, Tyler goes as hard as anybody we have on our team. I mean, he goes hard all the time, which is fantastic. But that made him a little bit out of control at times. It did. He knows that. He's really reined that in. It hasn't slowed him down, but his mind has slowed down, which is really exciting, which puts him in that group of guys at linebacker that you feel like, okay, he'll get out there on the field Saturdays. Now, it's a battle because now we start talking about those guys. Maybe there's 5 guys, 6 guys who feel like get on the field. That might not be real that they all do, but he's right there in the battle. It's great to have competition in it, man.
With John and Leon, how have you seen them now with this preseason camp continue to grow within the scheme? Just how they can affect the quarterback?
I think they have, and we have as coaches, identified what their strengths are. So you have, some new tools on the edges, which you're very, very excited about. But I think Coach Mitchell's done a great job with them, helping them really rein in and focus in on what are their strengths and how are they going to attack. Because they're different types of kids. The fact that they're different types of kids is really a huge advantage for us as well.
Sebastian, going from your room to the outside linebackers, it's obviously having a pretty good impact on the practice field. Did you anticipate that right away for him, for that position to click? Or?
So he started out at the will because the will does rotate to the edge a fair amount. We knew he had great athleticism getting off the ball and some twitch and some ability to lean edges. But no, did I think he was going to be an outside backer right off the bat? No. Thought he was an inside backer. Still, who knows what it's going to be in the long run? But he's certainly, right now, focusing on one spot where he can be an impact. A little less going on because most everything that's happening on this side of you as opposed to both sides of you, which makes it a little easier to pick up a new guy in a new defense.
Coach, you guys have a lot of players that are versatile that can play a lot of different roles. For some of the younger guys, is it important to kind of hone in on a position or what's kind of your take?
Yes, it absolutely is. It is for their ability to have details at one spot, but also just for confidence, right? You just start thinking on the football field if you're bouncing back and forth positions. So, that's why for a guy like Tackett, we may have said, hey, we're going to start out, we're going to be focusing in on our primary nickel package right now. And once we know that it's 100 miles per hour and there's no thinking, boom, we add more. You can go across the board. Big picture though, with scholarship and roster limits, there are some guys that have to be able to be utility players for you. It's needed.
Xavier Lucas has been somebody that's been getting a lot of praise from coaches and players alike, but what have you seen from him to be able to do what he's doing?
I really like, A, he's long, B, he's fast, but I really like the fact that he's very consistent. He's consistent, I'm talking about in terms of his personality, right? He's getting more consistent as a football player, but his personality, right? He is a happy kid. There's not many ups and downs, right? If something hits on him, he's competitive, he doesn't like it, but he's going to stay who he is, he's going to maintain confidence. So at corner, I think that's a critical, besides all the physical skills, that's a critical thing. As he continues to be out there and show he knows what he's doing and can be consistent, the older guys start believing in him too.
Coach seemed like just a small tactical errors, and I mean that kind of happens as you reach like kind of the midway point of camp. How do you make sure that the guys stay motivated? You and Fickle bringing that energy, stuff like that. How do you keep these guys motivated as you reach this point in camp?
So, first of all, you better have a whole bag of tricks at this point in camp. There's no doubt about it. But Coach Fick does a fantastic job, and we have leaders on this team that hold a high standard. So that really helps us a bunch as coaches. Specifically though, with our vets, just continue to add small tweaks. Like today we had a couple pressures that were the same pressures we've had, but we changed our alignment and look to try to manipulate the protections. And that keeps those older guys engaged, right? The younger guys, you've limited what their play call package is, but add a thing, and hopefully it's something that they can get excited about. Those are things that, besides having the leadership that enforces our standard, other things just keep people engaged.
Ernest Willard is another guy who switched positions. Just what have you seen from him at this point? And kind of stands
He
out?
moves really well for his size and his age. It's really exciting to see. You don't know when he's in Coach Collins' strength program for a couple of years how big he's going to end up or what spot he's going to be. But right now for our team and for the impact he can have at this stage, I think it's been a great move for him. He's a smart kid. He picks stuff up really well. I'm excited to see what his development looks like. It's pretty exciting.
So it's another freshman, Dylan Johnson, from the twos. Just, I know his strength's been there. He was a former state champion wrestler. Just, what is it going to take for him to crack the rotation? Is he close, or is it still a lot of growing to go through?
No, he is close, but I'm seeing improvement out of the older guys. So that's one of those things where people notice Dylan Johnson and what he does on the field, and that pushes the older guys. But I will give those defensive linemen credit. They are pushing themselves, which is really exciting to see. If, I don't know, if they did last year, might be saying, hey, we're going to be Dylan in there right now. This year, the bar is being pushed by their unit, which is great to see. Good?
Yeah, okay.